As you look up at the night sky, have you ever wondered if we are truly alone in the universe? Tonight, that question takes on new urgency, as NASA's latest Mars rover has just sent back data that could change everything we know about life beyond Earth. For generations, scientists have searched for answers, but now, a breakthrough from the Martian surface is igniting unprecedented excitement in the scientific community. Mars, our enigmatic neighbor, has always been a focal point in the search for extraterrestrial life, but this time the evidence is more compelling than ever before. Its red, arid, and dusty landscape has long been a mystery, but the latest findings hint at secrets hidden beneath the surface waiting to be revealed. We may be on the verge of one of the most significant scientific revelations of our time, thanks to the perseverance of our robotic explorers. Recent transmissions from NASA's Rover suggest we are closer than ever to answering the age-old question: are we alone? Let's get straight to the latest from Perseverance. The rover, already well known for its advanced tools and mission, has just sent back new data that could reshape our understanding of Mars. The rover has been exploring a part of the J0 crater delta known as Wildcat Ridge. This spot is super interesting to scientists because it's made of fine-grained sedimentary rock. Okay, that sounds a little boring, but stick with me. Sedimentary rocks are formed when mud and sand settle at the bottom of a body of water over a very long time and then get pressed together. Think of the mud at the bottom of a lake. Over millions of years, that mud can turn into rock, trapping whatever was in the water with it. So, Perseverance rolled up to Wildcat Ridge, which is a big slab of this light-colored muddy rock. Scientists believe this rock was formed billions of years ago when water in the Jezero Lake was evaporating. As the water disappeared, it left behind super-concentrated salty water, or brine, and all the mud and minerals settled to the bottom. This process is amazing at preserving delicate things. On Earth, sedimentary rocks like this are where we find the best fossils, dinosaur bones, microscopic traces of ancient bacteria. So, finding this type of rock on Mars is like hitting the jackpot for a fossil hunter. Using the tools on its robotic arm, Perseverance took a closer look at the surface of Wildcat Ridge. It used an instrument called Sherlock, which is like a high-tech magnifying glass that uses a laser to map out minerals and other chemicals. When scientists on Earth got the data back from Sherlock's scan, their jaws dropped. They weren't just seeing the usual rock minerals, they were seeing a huge concentration of something else, something they had been hoping to find since the mission began. The rock was packed with a specific class of molecules that are, on our planet, directly connected to living things. This wasn't the first time we found these kinds of molecules on Mars, but this time was different. The sheer amount of them and where they were found was off the charts. Finding them in this specific type of rock, a sedimentary rock formed in a habitable environment where life could have existed, makes the discovery a 10 out of 10 on the excitement scale. What then has Perseverance discerned within these geologically significant rocks at Wildcat Ridge? The principal finding is the detection of organic molecules, complex carbon-based compounds. While the term organic may evoke associations with produce, in chemistry it denotes molecules fundamentally linked to biological processes. In scientific parlance, organic refers to carbon-containing compounds, which are integral to life as we understand it. These organic molecules constitute the foundational components for all terrestrial life forms. They are primarily composed of carbon atoms, frequently bonded with elements such as hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. On Earth, every organism, from unicellular bacteria to the largest mammals, relies on organic molecules for structure and function. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, is composed of organic molecules, as are the proteins that form the basis of cellular machinery. The identification of these molecules on Mars represents a significant milestone in astrobiological research. Perseverance employed its Sherlock instrument, which utilizes ultraviolet laser-induced fluorescence to analyze mineralogy and detect organics. Distinct molecular structures exhibit unique fluorescence signatures under ultraviolet light, facilitating their identification. The instrument registered the most pronounced signal for organic molecules observed thus far during the mission. Moreover, these compounds were not sporadically distributed. Rather, they were concentrated within the rock matrix, implying entrapment during lithification billions of years ago. It is crucial to recognize that organic molecules can arise through abiotic mechanisms, independent of biological activity. For instance, such compounds may form via geochemical interactions between water and rock or be delivered exogenously by meteorites. Therefore, the mere presence of organic molecules does not constitute definitive evidence of life. This is reminiscent of the earlier footprint analogy. A footprint indicates a presence, but its origin may be ambiguous. Additional data are required to draw robust conclusions. The true significance of this discovery lies in its geological and environmental context. The highest concentration of organic compounds was found within a rock formed in an ancient lacustrine environment, potentially conducive to life. This finding renders the hypothesis of a biogenic origin increasingly plausible. Notably, the molecules identified are structurally complex and associated with sulfates, as reported by AP News. On Earth, the co-occurrence of sulfates and organics within sedimentary strata is often indicative of past biological activity, thus pointing to a compelling direction for further investigation. Let's break down what organic molecules are. Imagine a giant box of Legos. The most important brick is carbon. Carbon can connect in tons of ways. It can form long chains, complicated rings, and all sorts of other shapes. Carbon connects with hydrogen, and sometimes oxygen, nitrogen, or phosphorus. When that happens, you get an organic molecule. They're the basic Lego creations you use to build bigger things. On Earth, life uses these molecules for everything. Simple molecules link into polymers. For example, amino acids. Link amino acids together and you get a protein. Proteins do the work in your cells. Another example, nucleotides. Link nucleotides and you get DNA, so you can see why finding them matters. Now back to Mars. Perseverance detected organic molecules. It was like finding a pile of carbon Lego bricks in Martian dirt. Were these bricks made by non-living chemistry and like water mixing with minerals? Or were they leftover pieces of an ancient Lego castle, life? We can't tell for sure from millions of miles away. The rover can tell us the carbon bricks are there, but it can't show if they were ever assembled into a castle. That's why this discovery is exciting and a little frustrating. We have a tantalizing clue, not the final answer. Think of a detective finding a book no one can read. You know it's a message, but you don't know what it says. The organic molecules on Mars are like that mysterious book. To read it, we need much more powerful tools than a rover. High-powered lab instruments, sample return rocket, Earth lab analysis. Only then will we be able to decode the message and understand what these organic molecules are really telling us about ancient Mars. When news like this breaks, you want to hear from the experts, the scientists who have spent their lives working on this stuff. And let me tell you, they are thrilled. Ken Farley, project scientist for Perseverance at Caltech, put it perfectly. He called the rock samples with these organics a treasure. That shows how confident they are that these rocks could hold the answers. David Schuster of UC Berkeley helps lead the team who will study these rocks. He emphasized how special these samples are. We have found organic matter in a fine-grained sedimentary rock, a rock type known for preserving fossils of ancient life on Earth. David continued, "It's not just that they found organics, it's where they found them. A clue found right at the scene of the potential crime, the crime being life." But scientists are careful with their words. Lori Glaze, director of planetary science at NASA, says they are looking for potential biosignatures. A biosignature is a sign of life, but finding a potential one means you need to do more work to rule out other explanations. So the organic molecules could have come from non-biological processes. They don't jump to conclusions, they ask, what else could this be? For now, there are two main possibilities: remnants of ancient Martian microbes, chemical reactions between water and rock. As Farley noted, it all comes down to bringing the sample back. That's the only way to know for sure. The excitement is real, but the final answer is still waiting, locked inside a rock on Mars. So we have these amazing rock samples sealed up in shiny titanium tubes, sitting on the surface of Mars. What happens now? This is where the plan gets even more like a science fiction movie. NASA is working with the European Space Agency on a multi-step, super complex plan that's never been tried before. The answer to the biggest question is coming. We just have to go get it. According to the AP News article, this discovery represents our closest approach yet to answering whether life ever existed on Mars.